So let's talk about a scenario that, frankly, nobody wants to think about: a major workplace emergency. What do you do? What does Malaysian law actually require from you when things go sideways? We're going to break it all down, looking at the two biggest laws you need to know. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, picture this. Right now, an alarm is absolutely screaming in your ears. There's chaos, confusion, maybe a bit of panic, and you see it. A drum has split open and a hazardous chemical is spreading fast. In that moment, everything you do is critical, and it's not just about safety, it's about the law. So I'll ask you directly, what is your number one first legal move? Because how you answer that question could decide everything. Well, the answer really boils down to understanding your two main responsibilities. The best way to think about them is like two guardians always watching over your workplace. First, you've got the Occupational Safety and Health Act. You probably know it as OSHA. Its job is simple: protect your people. Then you've got the Environmental Quality Act, or EQA. Its focus: protecting the planet. And here's the key: these aren't choices. They are two duties you have to handle at the exact same time. So let's start with what matters most: human life. We're going to look at exactly what you're responsible for under OSHA 1994. You know, the law itself is crystal clear on this. OSHA's core mission is to make sure every single person at work is safe from the risks that come with the job. It's not about reacting, it's about proactively securing their health and welfare. So when that chemical drum bursts, OSHA is your first rulebook.
And this is what it looks like in practice. This isn't just theory. OSHA demands real, life-saving actions. First, are your evacuation routes totally clear and easy to find? Second, is first aid right there, ready to go, with people who actually know how to use it? Third, does everyone understand the dangers involved? No confusion. And finally, has your team been trained for this exact kind of disaster? This isn't about ticking boxes, it's about practical, muscle memory preparation.
Okay, so your team is getting out and anyone hurt is getting help. You're handling the people side of the crisis under OSHA, but the emergency is far from over. Now we have to look at your other parallel duty, protecting the environment under the EQA. Now the EQA has a totally different but just as important job. It's all about stopping pollution, cleaning it up fast when it happens, and just generally taking care of the environment. That's chemical spill. From the EQA's point of view, that's a source of pollution that needs to be shut down right now. So while some people are moving away from the danger, a trained team has to be moving towards it. The EQA checklist is very specific. First, you have to contain that spill, stop it from getting any bigger. And this is so important because the absolute nightmare scenario is that chemical getting into a drain or a river. It's how you get those terrible headlines about water pollution that can affect thousands of people. These rules are here to prevent that. You're also required by law to report it to the Department of Environment. And finally, everything you use to clean up, all that contaminated stuff, is now legally scheduled waste. That means it's hazardous, and you can't just toss it in the bin. It has to be handled by licensed specialists following super strict rules. We've looked at two different checklists, right? One for people, one for the planet. But in a real crisis, you don't have the luxury of using two different playbooks. You need one single coordinated response. And this is exactly what that integrated plan looks like. It's a beautiful, logical flow. Step 1, sound that alarm. Everyone needs to know. Step 2, evacuate. That is pure OSHA, get your people to safety. But at the same time, step 3 is happening. Contain the spill. That's your EQA duty kicking into high gear. And finally, step 4, notify the authorities. That one move satisfies both OSHA and EQA. See how it all works together? It's one seamless process. And after the dust settles, what happens next is crucial. You basically face two very different futures. If you don't comply, you're looking at a nightmare. Massive fines, being forced to shut down, maybe even legal action, and a damaged reputation that's incredibly hard to fix. But if you do comply, well, your workers are safe, you're protected legally, your customers trust you, and your business keeps running. It's a pretty stark choice when you lay it out like that. Which brings us to what might be the most important point of all. This isn't really about what to do when the alarm is already blaring. It's about building a system so you're always prepared, not panicked. It's about making that shift from being reactive to being proactive. At the end of the day, you shouldn't see OSHA and the EQA as just a rule book or a list of things to be afraid of. Honestly, they're a gift. They give you a proven blueprint for building a company culture that's tough, that's responsible, and that's fundamentally safe for everyone, and for the environment we all share. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Look at your own workplace. Is your emergency plan just some document collecting dust in a binder somewhere, something you only pull out for an audit? Or is it a living, breathing part of your culture that everybody on the team knows and practices? Your answer to that could truly make all the difference.